Shazam! Oh man, it didn't work. Oh well. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today we are finally talking about Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods. Okay, so this is a movie I've been really excited for. I've been excited for this movie since 2019 because I absolutely love the first film. It's one of my favorite DC films, probably my favorite DCEU film. So I've been so excited for this sequel, and we got it, and well, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the movie. However, I know some people are not the biggest fans of it, and I can see why, but I don't care. I love this movie. So yeah, let's get into this then, I guess, and start with my favorite part about this movie probably was the cast, the characters, and the family, because as we all know, it's all about family. So the cast, every single cast member, in my personal opinion, is just great and as these characters. Asher Angel, I'm hoping I said his name right. I keep messing up which is his first and last name in every video I mention his name. Zachary Levi, I forget the name of the other characters. Rachel Zegler was in this, and I'm forgetting a lot of their names, honestly. Lucy Liu. There's a bunch of great. Every actor and actress in this movie, I think, are great and do a great job portraying their character. The adult Shazam, the adult superhero versions of the characters still feel like pretty good representations of the kids in this movie. Even though there are some things off. I mean, Mary this time around is played by the same actress for both, which I actually do like that choice. I like that choice. I thought, same with her costumes. Her costumes are different. I prefer the costumes in this one. So yeah, the entire cast is great, and their chemistry with each other is also great. What I was most excited for, too, for this was seeing more of the family dynamic. So that was my favorite part of the movie, was just seeing all the family members interact and also be superheroes together, as well as having their own stuff at home with the family. And there wasn't as much of it as I was hoping for. I feel like they're being adult superheroes for way too long, and yet they don't have enough action scenes. Like, to me, it felt like they were in their superhero forms a lot in the first half when they didn't need to be, and then we get to the second half where you get the epic stuff. They're not in as much as they should have been. But, you know, that's just me personally. But yeah, the comedy also really worked for me. Most of it landed. I don't think it's as funny as the first film was, but there were still some parts that made me laugh out loud. And so, some of the visuals in this movie, too, were, like, really cool. Like, obviously the dragon that we see in the trailer is cool, but there's also some other visuals, some powers that are used really well. I think we saw some of it in the trailers as well. And when it comes to the villains, I thought they were pretty decent villains. I don't think they're, like, the strongest villains ever, but I think they were pretty good villains. Like, I don't know, I don't have too much to say about them. Like, they were pretty menacing, and I thought they were pretty powerful villains. But, like, I don't know, and the motivation was pretty good. It's like, oh, their dad was killed, and powers were stolen from them, and they want them back. Okay, yeah. But, I don't know, that's pretty much all they gave them was, we hate humans because they stole our powers. Okay, is there any other reason why you want to murder every single human? No, that's pretty much it. Oh, okay. Okay. I feel that the villains in this movie are equal to the one in the first movie. I've heard different opinions on this. I've heard some people say that the villain in the first one was better, and I've heard some people say the villain in this one are better. But I personally feel like they were pretty equal. But yeah, there's not a whole lot I feel to say about this movie without spoilers. There is a awesome scene in this movie involving a character that was spoiled for pretty much everybody. If somehow you didn't have this character spoiled for you, I would recommend avoiding it at all costs, because I personally thought the scene was really cool. I mean, some issues with it, but it was a really cool scene. And if you can avoid it at all costs, I would recommend it. Assuming you haven't already seen it. I don't understand why WB is spoiling the movie in the trailers. I think it's so stupid when they spoil stuff like that in trailers. It's so dumb, in my opinion, but whatever. I'm going to talk more about that in a spoiler review, hopefully. And yeah, so there's not much more to talk about. Should you go see this in the theater? I feel like it really depends, again, on you. It's one of those movies where it's like, I don't really know what they tell you. Let's just say, if you like the first film, if you were like me and you love the first film, whether you like me, you think it's probably the best DCEU film, or maybe you're just like, yeah, I enjoyed the first film, then I would say yes, go see this in the theater. Part of me is also, now part of me wants to tell everyone else, even if you weren't a fan of the first Shazam movie, to just go see it in theaters anyway, just because I want this movie to make money, because I want to see Shazam 3, like, really bad. I really want a Shazam 3. There are 2 end credit scenes in this movie that may or may not go somewhere. It depends on how good this movie does. So please, if you got the money, go see this in the theater and get a 3rd film. But if you don't have the money and you're picking certain movies, then I would say that if you weren't a fan of the first Shazam movie, you can wait for streaming. But, you know, I really want Shazam 3, so give this movie your money. No, yeah, so big fan of the first film, see it in theaters. Not a fan of the first film, wait for streaming. But I personally really want a 3rd film, so I want this movie to get as much money as it possibly can. But yeah, but did you guys get to see this movie yet? And if so, what did you think about this movie? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was okay? What did you feel about it? One more thing I do want to mention before we go is the tone. I think is something that, like the first film, the tone is kind of like different. Like there are some scenes that's so lighthearted and fun and funny, and then there's other scenes where it's like, oh, that was dark. Okay, okay. So I don't personally think it's nearly as dark or as scary as the first film. The 7 deadly sins in the first film and how they murdered a bunch of people is still way more intense, in my personal opinion, than a lot of stuff they did in this movie. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. To me, there was only one thing that happened in this movie that was like, oh my gosh, okay. Whew, okay. That was one thing that made me do that. Unlike in the first one, it was like pretty much every time there's one scene in particular with the 7 deadly sins are like, whoa, they're creepy. This movie, not as much of that, but it's still kind of like, haha, funny joke. Okay, that just happened. Haha, funny joke. That was kind of dark. Which again, like the first film, I enjoyed it. I still like that, but I can understand why other people won't be the biggest fan of it. But it's not nearly as bad as the first one when it comes to that. But yeah, and last thing, when it comes to Billy and, whoa, I almost got hit by a car. Billy and Shazam, Zachary Levi, it still kind of feels like in the first film where Billy felt more mature than Shazam for some reason. I still kind of feel that way, even though Billy did not get nearly enough screen time. I wish he got way more screen time than he did. And I feel like if he did, the story could have been better. But yeah. What did you guys think of this movie? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was okay? I want to hear all your thoughts about this movie. I might make a spoiler review because there's a bunch of stuff I want to talk about. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you like this video, please hit like. If you want to see more videos like this, please start hitting the subscribe button. I made a review for a whole bunch of movies. I plan to make reviews for a lot of movies going forward. Thanks so much for taking time to watch. Hit the notification bell so you know when I post to go live. Thanks for watching. Bye.